This is Middle Class Matt from don'tbuythehype.blogspot.com, and I am middle classing it up. Car in the garage, food on the table, sports on TV. Loving the middle class lifestyle and watching sports. Now, the one thing I do is I watch sports and I don't buy the hype, just like the name of my blog says. But the hype with the Dwight Howard is something. I'm not necessarily buying the hype that the Lakers are the next champion and ready to crown them, as they say. I'm not ready to crown them, but I am going to say this is more than hype, because this is going to change the balance of power in the NBA. Really, with the teams that were there, with the Spurs getting old and the Celtics getting old, really the best two teams in the NBA, head and shoulders, were the Heat and Thunder. Matter of fact, when I talked about the Heat and Thunder in like the preview of the NBA Finals, I was like, this might be the matchup off and on. We might see this matchup for the next 5 years. I don't mean straight, but like you can see one of those two teams probably in there in the next 5 years and see them match up several times. They're that good, and then the Thunder that young. But this does change the balance of power. Now, first thing I want to say is Dwight Howard has been a big baby about this. Matter of fact, if there wasn't a player already named Big Baby, I would say that would be the best nickname for him. But Dwight Howard always should have been a Laker. I always thought that was the right move. It made sense. We know the legacy that the big man and Lakers and Laker tradition, them coming there and winning championships. Plus, this guy's got a big smile. He's a likable guy until all this mess happened with the trade, and he was so wish-washy. And he wants to do commercials. He wants to do PR. He wants to, have someone manage him and do PR for him. Go out to California and let CAA represent you. Go out there and be in movies. This is the chance. This guy's going to be Shaq, Superman. He's going to be out there. You will see his commercials and his airtime pick up 2-3 times more. If he's doing 2 commercials right now, he's going to do 6-7 commercials. This guy's going to get sponsors. He's going to do it. This was the right move for him. Now, people are just ready to go ahead and give the Lakers the title. Now, I'm not saying they can't win it. But this team kind of reminds me of the team that the Lakers did the failed experiment when they had Gary Payton, Kobe Bryant, Karl Malone, and Shaq. Now, it just seems like just that team. 6'4" Payton, 6'7" Bryant. Big, huge guys inside. Karl Malone, nearly 300 pounds, 6'9". Shaq, I always say nearly 400 pounds. Over 7 feet tall. You say no one can match up with him. And that's what people are going to say about this team. Look at Gasol. He's 7'1", 7'2". He's a monster. And then Dwight Howard is the monster. There is no one bigger than Dwight Howard. He is the biggest physical center. Now, there might be someone bigger than him, but they can't move like him. He is the inside presence. Dwight Howard can go on a team that is no good, any NBA team, the Bobcats, and make them a playoff team. No doubt about that. They might be an 8 seed. But he can make them a playoff team. So coming to a pretty good team, that's going to be big. But like I said, this kind of reminds me of that old team. They had a bunch of old veterans on there, and they weren't able to get it done. Now, I'm not saying the Lakers aren't going to get it done. It's going to be interesting, and they could. But in my opinion, what they need is a talented young wing. Now, a lot of people say, well, how greedy can you be? They've already got, Antoine Jamison and Paul Gasol and Dwight Howard and Steve Nash and Kobe Bryant and Ron Artest. They've already got all those players. Yeah, the thing about it is, though, is that they're going to play teams like the Thunder and the Heat eventually in the playoffs who are going to have talented wings. They need someone to guard them. They need a young Lamar Odom. They need a guy like Iguodala. That's who they need. And I'm surprised that they don't think so, because they have guards and they have big men. They don't have any great wings. And they don't need one. They don't need LeBron James. They need guys like I just talked about, guys that are going to get you double-digit points. They're going to fill up the stat sheet. Now, I know people are talking about the pick and roll with Steve Nash and stuff like that, and that's going to be good. And like I said, this is a super talented team, and they could win it all next year, no doubt. But consider this fact, and no one's saying this. When Jeremy Lin and Carmelo Anthony, both good players, Carmelo's an elite talent, even though he's flawed in the sense he needs to shoot the ball all the time. He needs the ball in his hand, and so did Lin. And they hurt each other's stats because of that. Now, I know that Kobe would do whatever it takes to win a championship, and so would Nash, especially since he doesn't have one. The problem is, will these players be effective without the ball in their hands? Steve Nash, I've seen him dribble. Now, those are younger days, but I've seen him dribble into the lane, under the basket, and back out. He handled the ball and dished it out. What a lot of people think is because somebody gets assist doesn't mean that means they're unselfish. Well, I mean, maybe that's unselfish, but some people demand the ball to be in their hand. And is Nash that sort of player? I know Kobe is. So it's going to be interesting. Can they be effective with one of them? Is Nash going to be effective shooting jumpers from the outside and letting Kobe handle the ball? Is Kobe going to be effective catching assists from Nash and doing catch and shoot? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to tell. But this is a big deal, and I buy the hype that it's a big deal because Dwight Howard is the best center in the game, but has a lot of improvement. So this is Middle Class Matt from don'tbuythehype.blogspot, and I'll see you next time. And next time I hope to be talking about football.